So hello guys, and now we will solve quadratic equations and quadratic equations. Yeah, it is quadratic equations, and but this is quadratic functions. And now let's start. So since what we're given is the output value, we can just substitute it. So 21 is equal to x squared plus 6x plus 5. So what we can do is subtract 21 from both sides. So cancel, and we're left with 6x squared plus 6x minus 16. And now we're going to think of two numbers that adds up to 6x, 6x, yeah, and multiplies to negative 16, or basically adds up to 6x, oh, adds up to 6x, yeah, and multiplies to negative 16. So that would be the factored form of this entire trinomial would be x plus 8 and x minus 2. And now, since we're asked what is the positive value of x, we're going to change the sign of these two first. These two terms, or not terms, but binomials. And let me erase some of the former or the old, some of that. And then what we will get is x is equal to negative 8 and x is equal to 2. So that's how you get the answer. So the answer is C. So here in this second problem, if f of x is equal to x squared minus 7x plus 10, and the output value is 4, we just substitute 4 from both sides to the equation. So 4 is equal to x squared minus 7x plus 10. So if we subtract 4 from both sides, that would be x squared minus 7x plus 6. And we're going to think of a value that adds up to negative 7, but multiplies to positive 6. So if we think of that would be 6, and two numbers that add up to negative 7 is negative 6 and negative 1, because negative 6 and negative 1 is equal to negative 7. And now we're going to factor it, and that would be x minus 6 and x minus 6. That should be x minus 6. 6 and x minus 1. And the output would be, remember what we did earlier, we need to change the sign or the symbol of the both of the equations, or both of the binomials, sorry. And that would be x is equal to 6 and x minus 1 is equals to 0 and x is equal to 1. So you have two positive values, but we're asked what is the smaller value of x. So that would be 1. Be 1. That's how you get the answer. And next here in this problem, there's two ways how you can get you can get the answer in this problem. So in reading this problem, so if f of x is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 4, f of x is equal to 16, what is the positive value of x? So we're given the output value of f of x is equal to 16. So now we need to just substitute first before I can show you how to solve this in two ways. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 4, that's 3x, sorry. And you subtract it by both sides, that would be 2x squared plus 3x minus 20. So there's two ways how you can get this answer. There's two possible ways. First, you use the quadratic formula, and second would be AC method. For me, since I'm going to teach you both of them, I want to teach first AC method because it's the easier one. So since we have this here, wait, let me add 0 so it's more. So now we're given this. We're going to multiply a and c. That's why it's called AC method. AC method. So 2 and negative 20 is equal to negative 40. And now we're going to add, we're going to search for two numbers that adds up to 3, but multiplies to negative 40. Okay, always remember that. Multiplies to negative 40 but adds up to positive 3. So that would be 8 and 5, but which would be the positive? Since positive is 3x here, that would be positive 8 and negative 5. Okay, let's move on. Since we're given that information, we can just factor this trinomial. So tx squared plus 3x minus, plus 8x. Since you got the two values that adds up to positive 3x but multiplies to negative 40, you can just plug it in. So that would be 5x minus 20. And now we're going to factor this out as much as we can. So 2x and x plus 4 and minus 5x positive 4. So we're given 2x minus 5 and x plus 4. You get it from here. So you get 2x minus 5 by these two terms, 2x and negative 5, and the x plus 4, you just get it here. You don't need both of the binomials, you just need one. So now once we have the factored form, you can just get the value of x. So 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. You just put this on the other side and 5, and you divide it by 2, and x is equal to 5 over 2. And here, x plus 4 is equal to 0, x is equal to negative 4. So what is the positive value of x? It would be x is equal to 5 over 2. That's the answer, letter D. Next, we can move on to number 4. Oh, I also forgot. I have to show it in quadratic, using the quadratic formula. If you guys don't know, you need to memorize a formula here, and I would say it's kind of long, but you just need to plug in the values. So here we're given 2, 3, and negative 4. And we're given an output of 16. Our f of x is equal to 16. Sorry. So now we're given that, so I can say that a is equal to 2. I forgot to substitute 16. 16 is equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Earlier we got 2x squared plus 3x minus 20. So now we're given that a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to negative 20. So I can say that a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to negative 20. I'm going to put a comma here. I'm not going to erase this. And let me erase some of the parts here so I have a space for showing how to solve this. If you know quadratic formula, the formula for a quadratic formula is x is equal to negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. That's ac over 2a. That's the quadratic formula. It's usually used in functions, not only functions but also in quadratics. And yeah, we can just plug it in. Give me a. So now we can just substitute the values. Sorry for the interruption. So negative 3, we're given that plus minus square root of 3 squared minus 4, and we're given 4 times 2, and negative 20, and 4. Basically 2 times 2. Okay. So the output of this entire value would be is x is equal to negative 3 plus minus square root of, let me use my calculator. That would be 169. Basically, the square root of 13. Square of 13, sorry. Square root of 169 is 13 divided by 4. And I can just erase this so I have space for solving it. And since 169 is the square root of 169 is 13, so I can just write it plus minus 13 over 4. So we will have two answers. So x can be, you can just solve it, negative 3 and negative 13 over 4. That would give us negative 16 over 4. And x is equal to negative 4. And if we're given negative 3, x is equal to negative 3 plus 13 over 4, that will be 10 over 4, which in simpler terms, we can just simplify. Wait, I don't have a space. It's the problem. Let me erase some of it. I'll just erase this. Since I know that the one value of x is negative 4. So I can just simplify this by dividing both sides, or both in the numerator and denominator. So that would be 5 over 2. So since you're asked the positive value of x, so I can say x has two values, negative 4 and 5 over 2. So my answer would be 5 over 2. That's how you get it in two possible ways. Later on in the next problems, I will just use the AC method because it's faster. But it's up to you if you want to use quadratic or AC method. Next would be number 4. 3 squared minus 5x plus 7. We are given the output value of 15. So I can just substitute first before doing something. I would say, yeah. So basically, minus 15 both sides, minus 15. And 3x squared minus 5x, that would be negative 5. Wait, negative 8, sorry. So since we're given this trinomial, we're going to do the AC method. So 3 times negative 8, so is equal to negative 24. So we're going to think of two values that adds up to negative 5x, but multiplies to 24. Okay? And that would be the factors of 24 are 8 and 3, 6 and 4, 12 and 2, and so on and so forth. So if we add these two, let's say both, they wouldn't add up because the output would be either positive 2, negative 2, 10, or negative 10. And if you add these two values, let's say this is negative and this is positive, this would give us negative 5x or negative 5. So I can say these two values are the possible two terms that adds up to negative 5x. So let's just plug it in like what we did earlier. So add x plus 3x and negative 8. So you can just factor these two binomials. So if we these are basically, we just need to factor it now. So now we're going to factor it out. So the greatest common factor in each group is x. In the first group is x. So factor out x. So that would be 3x minus 8. And the second one would be 1. So 3x minus 8. So now we're just going to use these two terms and combine it, and that would be a binomial, and get one here. Since they are the same, just get one. You don't need both of them. So yeah, like what we did earlier, we need to change the sign of the, what do you call this, of the binomials. So x plus 1 is equal to 0. So x, we just needed to put it on the other side. That would be negative. So negative 1. X is equal to negative 1. And for the other one, that would be 3x minus x is equal to 0. And put it on the other side again. So 3x is equal to 8. So divide both by 3. And x is equal to 8 over 3. So you have two values. X is equal to negative 1 and x is equal to 8 over 3. So we're asked the positive values. So 8 over 3. That's the answer. So next for 5. And we are given here the output value again. And I'll just use the AC method. In the next videos, I'll teach the quadratic formula. But for now, I'm going to use the AC method. So let's use but here, let's check if you can use the AC method. So now we're given the output value of 27. So 27 is equal to x squared plus 2x plus 12. And subtract both sides by 27. And you cancel out 27, and we are left with x squared plus 2x minus 15. And now we're going to think of two numbers that multiplies to 15 and adds up to 2. And negative 15, that would be, the factors of 15 are 3 and 5, and maybe 15 and 1. That's the only numbers that factor out 15, but we're finding the numbers that adds up to positive 2 but multiplies negative 15. So if we add these two, say this, so the output of these two values can be 8. It can either equals to 8, negative 2, positive 2, and that's all. So since we did find out that the outcome of these two values over here is 2. So we can say that the two numbers that adds up to positive 2 is 5 and 3. So we can just plug it in. So x squared plus, that would be x plus 5 and x minus 3. So now let's just change the value, or not change the value, symbol. I always misinterpret. Okay, just fine. Let's just continue it. So like, let's put it on the other side. That would be x equals to negative 5, and for the other one, x minus 3 is equal to 0, and x is equal to 3. So what is the positive value of x? That would be 3. That's all we need to know in order how to get the answers for this type of questions. So let's move on to number 6. Number 6, this is same as number 4 if I'm right. You can use quadratic or AC method. Either way. So f of x, you can just substitute it straight on. So that would be 9 is equal to 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So subtract both sides by 9, and that would be 4x squared minus 4x minus 8 is equal to 0. So you can use the AC method, which 4 times negative 8 is equal to negative 32. And you're going to think of two numbers that adds up to negative 4 but multiplies to 32. The most probable answer would be negative 8 and positive 4, because if you multiply these two values, what we get is this. Basically, it's the same as this. But if you want, I'll just do it. So that would be negative 32. Same thing as here. So Since we got that information, our data, we can just plug it in. So 4x squared and negative 8x plus 4x plus 1. So we can just factor each group here, each binomial. So what we see here is that, oh wait, I did something wrong. It would be, the answer would be negative, this would be negative 8. I forgot, sorry. Negative 8. So since we're given that information, we can just factor out common. So here, I can use 2x, and that would be uh, 2x minus 4. And the other one would be 2, and we're left with 2x minus 4 as well. So we need to get both of these terms and just combine it and return it into a binomial and get one of here and 2x minus 4. And now we're just going to get the value of x here. And getting the value of x here is just easy, like what I've shown earlier. We can just, let me expand this. So put it on the other side, 2x is equal to negative 2, divide both sides by 2, and you get with negative 1. And the other binomial, that would be 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Put it on the other side, so 2x is equal to 4, divide both sides by 2 is equal to 2. So what is the greater value of 2? That would be the 2. And next, last, we're number 5, right? Where's number 6? Well, that's number 6. So we're number 7. Number 7 now. So now in number 7, we can just use AC method again. So yeah, plug in 36, 5x squared plus 5x plus 6 minus 36 on both sides. We would be left with 5x squared plus 5x minus 30. So now we're going to think of two numbers that adds up to 5 but multiplies to negative 30. So that would be, oh sorry, that would be, you're going to multiply a and c first. I forgot. I'm kind of tired right now, guys, but yeah, 5 times negative 30, that would be negative 150. So we're going to think of two values that adds up to negative 5x but multiplies to 150. So the most probable answer, but before I give you guys, let's think of two numbers that multiplies to 150. One would be 5 and 10. Now 5 and, that would be 15 and 10. And another one would be let me think, 2 and 75, 3 and 50, and 6 and 25. Let me put a comma there. All of these two numbers can multiply to 150, right? But if you combine these two, that would not add up to 5. It's literally impossible. The number would be higher or the number would be lower. But here we're given 15 and 10. If we add both of this, we'd get 25. But if one term is negative, that would give us negative 5. And yeah, the output is either 25, 5, 25, 5, and negative 5. So we can say that 15 and 10 is the probable. So let's just add 15x here plus minus 10. Let me erase all of this first, since we don't need all of this. And we can just simply factor it, 10x, yeah. So what we see here is that it has a common term of 5x. We can just factor 5x in everything here, in here first. So 5x, that would be you would be left with x plus 3, and here the common here is 10, so we can just put in 10, and that would be x plus 3, because if I put negative here, this would be positive, because negative and negative, basically negative and negative is equal to positive. If you multiply a negative and a negative, that would be positive. But if you multiply a positive and a negative, that would be negative. So yeah, so we just need to put this term and this term here, 5x minus 10 and x plus 3. And now let's just get the value of x. And 5x minus 10 is equal to 0. And you just put it on the other side, so that would be 5x is equal to 10 divided by 5 on both sides, x is equal to 2. And for the other binomial, x plus 3 is equal to 0, and subtract 3 by both sides. You can do that, but that's the output. So you have two values. So we ask what is the positive value of x. So that should be 2. Right. That's all you need to know. And next, 2x squared minus 9x plus 3. Yeah, same thing. We need to use the AC method. You can watch other YouTube videos on how to use AC method, but you just basically multiply A and C together, and you need to find a number that adds up to B. Basically, the sum of AC and B is the sum of AC, but A plus B, or A plus C is equal to B. That's the thing about AC method. But let's solve this so we can be done. So we can be finished. So negative 7, 2x squared minus 9x plus 3. Add 7 in both sides, and we would be left with 2x squared minus 9x plus 10. Let me fix this. No, minus. That would be not minus. 9x. This is 10. And so now we get this entire trinomial. We can just multiply 2 and 10, because A is equal to 2, B is equal to 9, negative 9, right? Negative 9. Negative 9, and C is equal to 10. So AC method, I've shown you earlier, multiply A and C and check the sum of B. And yeah, that's how you get it. So that would be 20, and think of two numbers that multiplies to 20 but adds up to negative 9x, or maybe negative 9. And since we're given that information, you can just plug it in. So 2x squared minus because I also forgot to tell you this, because the two numbers that adds up to negative 9x but multiplies to positive 20, that would be negative 4 and negative 5, because multiplying both negatives is equal to 20, positive, yeah. So I can just put here 4x, 5x plus That was 10, right? If I'm right. That was 10. Yeah, that was 10. So yeah, we can just factor it. So 2x. So the common factor here, or the common term here is 2x. So that would be, this would be 2x squared, 2x minus 2. And the other would be 5. Oh, sorry, it's not 2. Should be x, because this is 2. It is 2 because, so 2x, so this should be x minus 2, and this is negative, so it's be x plus, or minus 2, because negative and negative is equal to positive. That would be 2x minus 5 and x minus 2. So the value of x would be 5 over 2, the one value, and the other value would be 2. So what's the smaller value of x? Basically, 5 over 2. If we convert this into a decimal, that would be 2.5. And x is equal to 2. So I can say that the smaller value is 2. Next, 9. And here we just plug it in. That's all you need to know. So 2, basically if r of x is equal to 2x squared minus 3x plus 5, which expression is equivalent to r minus 3x. So substitute every single x here. Oh, there's no x there. Better. So negative 3 times negative 3x plus 5. The outcome of this would be 2 and negative 9x squared minus positive 9x plus 5. That would give us 18x squared plus 9x plus 5. And that would give us the answer of B. That's simple as that. And moving on to number 10, the last number. Number 10 is similar to number 9. We just substitute it. So 4, 2, 2x. So if, basically, let me read it first, Muna, and let's move on into answering it. If p of x is equal to 4x squared plus x minus 6, which expression is equivalent to p2x? So for that would be just substituting every single value here. So for that, I can just substitute it plus 2x, right? Minus 6. This would give us an answer of 4x squared. So 4x squared plus 2x minus 6. This is a parenthesis. And this would give us 16x squared plus 2x minus 6. So this is the answer, C. If I'm right, yeah, it is the same. So thank you guys for watching. I wish you learned something, and goodbye.